Alrighty, I apologize for that. That definitely took longer than expected, but for some reason, I was having trouble multitasking. But anyways, shout out to the people over at Wisdom that's coming in right now. I appreciate y'all for taking the time out of your technically morning to listen to me break down the latest tracks that just released. Obviously, you see in the title who we're going to be, who's the main big names with the releases, because it was a lot of music that dropped. I mean, Post Malone dropped, Young Blue dropped, of course Nicki dropped, and then the rest of the people in the title. Somebody else dropped. I forget. It was a lot of people. I'm gonna get into it. But basically, I was making sure everything was running good, or running well, and it's looking like it is. So make sure to comment if anything's going wrong. I don't think it will, but you know, you never know. Technical difficulties happen all the time. And also for the people over at YouTube and Kick, just know that I will be putting up different articles so you can see like there will be a video aspect. It won't just be my banner the entire time. So anyways, let's get into it. Also, for the people over at YouTube and Kick, make sure to download the Wisdom app to listen to me when I go live. And also, like, the unique thing with that is that you can easily join in as a guest. All right, all the shameless promotion is finished. Now I'm gonna get into, I don't know, this is the fun part. I don't know who I want to start with. Let me see. There was a lot of drops. Like, it was a lot of people that dropped. It was kind of interesting, because on one hand, of course, you got the Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, but then a lot of other names like, oh, SZA, like, they dropped. I'm probably gonna get into that first. Let's do SZA. Okay, let me see this one. I had the Genius up. I don't know what that was. Okay, and then let's get into, all right, we're gonna talk about SZA and Doja Cat, and then we're gonna get into, trying to see who all dropped. I mean, I have a list, but you know, I gotta make sure I have it all the way up. All right, let's get into Georgia Smith. Let's get into that, and then for the third, to start off, we're gonna get into, I kind of want to save Young Blue for last. I guess we can just get into his album right quick. Actually, no, let's get into Kodak. Okay, let's do that. So we're about to get into SZA, Doja Cat. We're gonna get into Kodak, and we're gonna get into Georgia Smith. So if you're not familiar with this whole process and how it works, basically, I get into my segment mode where I break it up into segments. Hopefully that makes sense. And whenever I'm talking about this particular track, I'll prefer the comments, or if somebody decides to join in on Wisdom, to be on topic. If not, if you can wait for the in-between times to comment or join in as a guest, as whenever I'm talking about these tracks, I prefer it to be on topic. But if not, then I would, you know, kindly, what Kendrick Perkins say, I will respectfully ask if you to wait till I'm finished. But for the most part, this is a open dialogue, a safe space, of course. And so if you want to get your thoughts off, then hey, I'm not gonna stop you. So anyways, all right, let me make sure I got everything up right quick. All right, I think that's, yeah, all right. Hold on, let me turn the beat off. Okay, hey, you know it's getting serious when I turn the beat off. That means we about to get started. I was playing. Also, make sure to hit that follow button. I don't know. Make sure to follow to keep up with when I go live, and click my Linktree and my bio to keep on my social medias. I don't know why I can't talk today. I guess it'd be like that. Anyways, we do not want ads on these articles, so let me pull up my handy dandy little tool right here. Put this in it. Yep. Alrighty. I'll take that. What in the world? Okay, let's duplicate that. All right, let's see how it looks. Okay, for the people over at YouTube and Kick, y'all should be able to see it now. Hopefully. Yeah, I should be able to see it. Okay, yeah. And then, yeah, let's start with SZA and Doja Cat. I couldn't help but watch you kiss her by the kitchen sink. I swung the door open. Ah, the messed up. Hold up. See, now I gotta start over. That's all. Hey, that's why I do it live. You know what I mean? I guess. Yeah, y'all see. Hold up. I totally messed it up. Floyd Mayweather over here, right quick. You know, a little Floyd Mayweather impression, nothing too crazy. All right, for real this time. For real this time. You know, stop playing. Stop playing. All right. All right. I couldn't help but watch you kiss her by the kitchen sink. I swung the door open, tippy toed farther in. I wasn't crying. I was staring and I forgot to blink. She saw me standing by the TV and she wouldn't stop screaming. So I tried to be discreet and told her, calm your expletive. She grabbed the kitchen knife, so I pulled out the blicky. Ain't got it all the time. Thank God I did for this, cause she was seeing red. And all I saw was you. It happened in the flash. And it keeps going. When she charged at me, y'all crisscross, saw her fall to the floor. Then you paused, and in horror, that shot wasn't for her. Now, if that's not poetic justice, then I don't know what is, because SZA and Doja Cat, for some reason, have decided to just drop the most toxic anthem for all the women across the world as the Kill Bill remix is officially out on all DSPs, and Doja Cat was taking no prisoners, literally and figuratively. No, that's not it. No, that's like that's a whole nother pronunciation that you're supposed to say it as. Yeah, no. Basically, what was I trying to say? I was trying to say figuratively. I'm definitely I'm not cutting this out at all. Figuratively. There we go. Y'all feel me? You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, second grade education, nothing too crazy. But anyways, SZA and Doja Cat remixed Kill Bill, and the remix comes 2 years after their Grammy winning, not nominated, winning track Kiss Me More. So safe to say that Doja Cat and SZA is probably a dynamic duo that you should be highly anticipating the next collab. And their collab, well, you have to wait no more because the collab is finally here. So of course I started out, you know, giving my whole soliloquy, and that was performed by Doja Cat on the track. And in general, Doja Cat was one of those type of people where she was at a crossroads. She didn't know if she wanted to do more pop or rap. And so she came out and she made her decision and she let the world know, and she put the world on notice at additionally with this verse that she wants to fully focus on rap and be considered a rapper. which is very interesting because most artists and musicians that's looked at in the pop light rarely try to double back and be seen as a rapper. I mean, look at all, not all, but look at some of the artists that has successfully crossed over to pop, which Doja Cat has done. And you don't see them coming back to rap or trying to get in the good graces of the hip hop industry because it's like you've already made it pop. You have a bigger demographic now. You're trying to please and different variety of people you're trying to please, but to come back to rap kind of shows where her head is at as far as where she's inspired creatively. So on this track, obviously she has some bars to get off her chest, and boy did she get them off. As when she started off rapping on this track, I was like, okay, I totally get why she's trying to go fully rap and just leave pop behind. But for the most part, the biggest news you should get out of this is SZA and Doja Cat have officially collabed once more with Kill Bill, the remix. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about this remix, this Kill Bill remix with Doja Cat? And do you think it's better than SZA's original Kill Bill? Okay. All right. Man, I could not get that out. Couldn't I? I was trying to say figuratively. And man, I figuratively. Yes, man, I messed that up so bad. But anyways, I'm keeping that in there. So whenever I put that out, it's just hey, I've just got to live with it. But anyways, let's get into Georgia Smith. Yeah. Let me see. Georgia Smith. There's a lot of ads on here. Hold up. Even if there's not, I'm still gonna let's see if this pulls up. Ah, it did. Great. Fantastic. All right, we're gonna pull this over here. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, man, Drake has great taste, don't he? No, I'm just playing. Let me chill. All right. And that wasn't for the segment. I was just, thinking out loud. But anyways, all right, let's get into Georgia Smith. Georgia Smith has returned with a new song titled Try Me. And it makes you wonder, it makes you ponder, who is she referring to with this track called Try Me? Now, of course, there was a lot of speculation surrounding her and my personal GOAT, Aubrey Graham, aka Drake. And their either serious or non-serious relationship. All you need to know, it was a lot of rumors surrounding the two, and boy don't Drake get around. So anyways, Drake and Georgia Smith have been paired in the past, but now, of course, Drake's doing his own thing. But anyways, there was a whole rumor that Drake got a tattoo of Georgia Smith way back in 2017. I know this is like ancient times, now that we're in 2023, but I have to bring this up because even to this day, I mean, that track Jaded that Drake made off of Scorpion, listen to that, listen to the history with Georgia Smith and Drake, and tell me that that's not directly like attached to each other as far as like relating. I don't know. That's not relating, like connecting. Because as far as the information, Jaded seems to be about Georgia Smith. Because if you don't know, when Georgia Smith was first coming up, Drake had a hand in helping her out in certain aspects. And then after that, she kind of, did her own thing and left Drake high and dry, which, if you think about it, it's really not the craziest thing in the world to use somebody and then leave them high and dry nowadays for all the users out there. But for the good people in the world that don't have ill intentions. That's kind of messed up. So for this to happen, Drake never forgot. Definitely got a tattoo of Georgia Smith. I mean, she literally was asked in an interview with SS Essence. Essence. I don't know what that is. Anyways, and they asked her, and then she basically said, "Oh, that's definitely not true." And then she went on to say, "I'm sure if he had a tattoo of me, it would be on the internet somewhere." Clearly, it was on the internet because we're asking you about it. But anyways, that's besides the point. Then she said again, "It could be me right now with this net around my hair." So basically, she was kind of talking around or beating around the bush, but that's basically Georgia Smith that Drake has tattooed on his body. Now, did I talk about Georgia Smith just to get into Drake? No. Of course, I think Georgia Smith is definitely a talented artist. And at the end of the day, her new track called Try Me is kind of like a poppy sound. Like the instrumental, the way that she's singing over it, it's kind of like a mellow vibe with a pop type instrumental. And for Georgia Smith, the way that she sings, and if you've heard her sing, then you know she's up there as far as not like one of the greats, but she's definitely serviceable. Like if you play her, people won't be, oh, turn that off. She's pretty talented when it comes to singing. So that was the main thing. She's saying a lot of bars in here. I think this is her first track of the year, so this is a big deal for her. I didn't look up her major label, so I don't know who she's under, but for the most part, it seems like she's getting a lot of major label support as she was on the biggest playlist for Spotify. So hopefully somebody will be listening, because I guess if one thing that Chloe Bailey's first week sells, and yes, I'm sorry, but we got to use her as the litmus test now for the worst first week ever under a major label. But anyways, basically I say that to say one thing that those first week sales from Chloe Bailey revealed to me is nobody's too big to fail, which I kind of already knew, but at this point, man, it's truer than ever, especially after the pandemic when a lot of marketing budgets are being cut in half. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Georgia Smith and her new track called "Try Me"? And will you be giving it a listen? Alrighty, shout out to the six people we have right now over at Wisdom. Thank you for tuning in live. You know, I really appreciate y'all who take the time out of your morning to just listen to somebody talk about music. Because at the end of the day, you could be doing anything, listening to anyone, and you chose to be in here listening to reviews of the latest hip hop tracks. And so it's, well, latest tracks in general, but just know I appreciate it. So I just wanted to say that right quick because, yeah, that's how I feel, you know? That's how I feel. Oh, no, that's how I felt, and that's how I feel to this day, like Deontay Wilder. Okay, let me pull this up. All right, let's get into Kodak. Now that I think about Georgia Smith, she really pulled a fast one over at Drake. Man, my goat can't catch a break, can he? Anyways, all right, let's keep going. I think I may have to just keep this ad in there. Oh, there's no picture. That's fantastic. That's weird. Let's put this, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get into Mr. Kodak because, you know, he dropped music so apparently. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't had or even seen an update of Kodak Black and Donald Trump hanging out. It's almost like that whole thing was like a marketing tactic. But anyways, at the end of the day, you know, this is not no political platform. Kodak Black has released a new track called "No Love for a Thug." This must have been ghostwritten by like John Moran or something. But anyways, for the most part, Kodak Black, I was listening to the track, and I don't know if he's doing his best Drake impression or worse Drake impression. Y'all have to let me know. As listening to this track, it just wasn't it. Now, for some people, for the women out there, they may enjoy a rapper who can't sing trying to sing to them. But for the most part, as a male, I'm not gonna lie to you, listening to this track is not hitting because Kodak does not have the most pleasant of voices. And basically, listening to him trying to sing is almost like nails on a chalkboard. So it's like when you get into it, the delivery is there as far as like the lines, but the voice is very, and I mean very hard to listen to. So yeah, I prefer Kodak Black when he's rapping, and I don't think that's the craziest thing. Like I don't think I'm coming out with no hot take. Like I think everybody would prefer Kodak to rap other than versus singing. But for some reason, he released this track and he's singing his heart out. And he's letting you know that there's no love for a thug. I don't know who he's singing about because he's like, I'm pushing violence, but really I just need a hug. I'm like, what type of therapist does this man have? Because at the end of the day, those are some therapist or therapeutic type bars. I mean, he says, I want to feel wanted, not taken advantage of. I mean, who hurt Kodak? That should have been the track. That should have been the title of this track. He should have been like, who hurt me? You know how like Tupac said, who shot? No, was it who shot you? Who said who shot you? Give me 1 second. I think it was Tupac. No. It was definitely Notorious. Or was it Tupac? I don't know. I forget. It's late. But anyways, like the Notorious track "Who Shot You" is it's kind of like a remix off of that. Like he could have just said "Who Hurt Me," because you know at the end of when you're listening to him singing isn't the most pleasant, and this track isn't the most replayable as the quality is very low. And I don't know who wants to listen to Kodak sing for a whole entire 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Kodak Black's new single titled "No Love for a Thug"? And do you like or do you enjoy when Kodak Black tries to sing on records? All right, now I gotta look this up. Give me a second. Who shot you? I can't believe I drew a blank on that. They're gonna take my hip hop card. That's wild. Who shot you? Let me see. Ah, it was Notorious. I was wondering. I forget who said that. Oh, I can hear y'all right now. How do you forget, or how do you forget who made the most craziest track of hip hop? I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't, dementia dreams. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I forget. Anyways, let me see. Okay. Um. All right. Let's see what we're gonna get into now. So we got that. Who shot you? Kodak Black. Georgia says Oh yeah, basically the people in the title was saving for last. So like we're not getting to that anytime soon. And by anytime soon, I mean like it's not gonna take forever. But just had to let y'all know it's not gonna happen anytime soon. All right, let's get into Young Blue. Let's talk about Young Blue. Young Blue, yeah. And then let's get into NBA Young Boy. I forgot about that. And then let's get into The Weekend. All right, cool. Let's start with Young Blue. I don't know if this will take away the picture. Hopefully not. Ah, it didn't. Great. Fantastic. Okay. One of the more talented up and coming artists that we have right now in hip hop has just released a new album titled Love Scars the Sequel. And by Love Scars the Sequel, I mean Love Scars 2. And it has a plethora of features on this album. Actually, I'm just joking. He actually only has 3 features, which is pretty interesting. It's almost like he's trying to go for that cult classic for his fans. I mean, even the album cover art is kind of fire. I mean, it shows him with a lot of chains on, and it's like an X-ray, and then around his neck area is like a tattoo called Love Scars. So it's a pretty fire album cover as far as like trying to be introspective and deep. But at the end of the day, I haven't listened to the album. I did listen to the Chris Brown album track, which I will get to in a second. But I want to get into how this has 15 tracks on the album, and that may be a lot. That may be too much for a young artist. And by young, of course, Young Blue has done a lot of collabs with the biggest artists in the game. But as far as an album, because I don't know how many albums he has out right now. Like, obviously, it wouldn't be as much of a big deal if he had like more features, but it seems like it's mostly him on this album. So I'm thinking 15 tracks is a lot. Like, maybe release 11 or 12 and then put the rest out as like a deluxe. So Moon Boy came out in 2021. I think he kind of missed with that album. And that was 16 songs. So this one's 1 song shorter. The deluxe was 16. So if the deluxe was 16 and this one's 15, like, I don't know if he's going for like a numbers type play or what it is, but for the most part, I think 15 tracks is too much. But obviously, I haven't heard the track. I mean, I haven't heard the album. I think Young Blue's one of the more talented artists in the game. So I'm not like scared of the quality of the album. It's just like, as far as mass appeal, people see 15 tracks and they just get overwhelmed, especially with a name that not everybody outside of the hip hop industry is going to recognize. But anyways, that's besides the point. So Young Blue is back again. 15 tracks, 42 minutes is the runtime for the album. And he has Chris Brown, he has somebody else, Ty Dolla Sign, and then he has Tink. I don't know who Tink is. But Tink is also on this album. So he has 3 features. And what else? Oh, I did listen to the Chris Brown track, but I'm gonna get into that and like its own specific segment. But for the most part, I really just wanted to point out the fact that Young Blue is one of the most talented chorus makers in the game right now. I would say more of an up and coming Sway Lee, because his range as far as singing is usually on point. I'm not saying he has a great voice, because whenever you're auto tune heavy, I don't know what it is about it, but if you're consistently using auto tune when you're singing, I think it's a detrimental effect that it has, as people don't really think you can actually sing. I mean, even T-Pain went through it. As I don't know who Young Blue's engineer is, because he sounds amazing, but using a lot of auto-tune leads people to believe that you can't sing as well as you may actually can with your real voice, no auto-tune. So that's my take on that. But anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Young Blue dropping his album Love Scars 2? And will you be giving this album a listen? All right, let's get into the specific track with Chris Breezy. I wonder if he still has the Chris Breezy tagline. That's definitely some non-law abiding type of terminology. So I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, let's bring this over here. Okay. Now, I messed up. All right, I'm gonna take that off. I messed up. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, now we back in business. All right. At first glance, you're probably wondering if this is a Marvin Gaye track. And then at second glance, you're seeing Young Blue and Chris Brown. And you're probably thinking, what in the world is this? What has Earth come to where these up and coming artists think they can just take a title from one of the most OG artists in the game that laid the blueprint? But whenever it's Young Blue and Chris Brown, I don't think they'll really be saying that, as these two would definitely do it justice, as this is definitely a play off of that track by Marvin Gaye, Distant Lover. And let me just say, the way that Chris Brown comes on the track and the way that Young Blue and Chris Brown play off of each other, I need an entire album from the two. Now, at this point, Chris Brown put out what I consider album of the year last year in Breezy 2022. But this year, I would assume that he's not going to put out another album to let the album Breezy live for a little bit. And I would hope that him and Young Blue just sit down in the studio, cook up for like a week or two, maybe even three. I know Drake and Future said they made What a Time to Be Alive in like 1 or 2 days or some crazy stuff like that. But this is not rap. This is singing. It takes more time to go into it. Vocal inflection, all type of stuff. You can't be singing while you sitting down. You know, it's a lot of stuff you have to do to prepare your voice for singing versus comparing your voice for rap. So anyways, Young Blue and Chris Brown needs to make a mixtape. And even though Young Blue did drop an album, Love Scars 2, featuring Ty Dolla Sign, Chris Brown, and Tink, out of 15 tracks, I still believe that Chris Brown and Young Blue should be the ones to make a mixtape together. Some type of project. It can even be like 3 to 4 songs. But I just think the way that these two collaborate, because even going back to what I consider album of the year for 2022, listening to Breezy and the track with Chris Brown, Young Blue, and Lil Wayne, I think that that was one of the best songs of all time. Like, the delivery from everybody, the content matter, the staying on subject is a big deal for me. I think that staying on subject needs to have more praise nowadays than some of these other artists that just say whatever comes to their mind. But for the most part, I believe that Possessive, that's the track title, by Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, and Young Blue, is one of the best tracks of all time. Like, you listen to that track, and not gonna lie, they'll have you feeling like maybe I am possessive. You know, maybe I want to be possessive in my life. You know, I wouldn't recommend it, but hey, maybe the track will have you influenced in some type of way, some form of fashion. And whenever music can do that to you, I feel like it's pretty high quality wise. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Young Blue and Chris Brown making some type of collab project together? And do you think we need it, or should they keep it? Okay. Shout out to the people over at Wisdom coming in. Uh, Definitely getting through a lot of new releases currently. We're gonna end with the people in the title, so that's like I said. I always save that for last. 'Cause I like to. Um, those are like the main ones I want to talk about. So what else? Post Malone. Did I already talk about Young Boy? I don't know. Also, if you're just joining, this will be uploaded after the fact to all my podcast platforms. So just click my link tree in my bio, and it will send you straight to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. With that being said, let's get into Young Boy and Mariah the Scientist. Cause, well, I'm gonna say my thoughts, but nah, this is gonna be. Anyways, let's get into these two artists. All right. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Now, who would have thunk just a week after releasing a track with Onika Mirage, the queen of hip hop, that he would come back and release a track with another artist of the same gender? Because I remember seeing a track, or not even a track, I remember seeing a comment on YouTube where somebody was like, Young Boy only does collabs when it comes to women artists with Nicki Minaj. And here he is making a track with Mariah the Scientist. Now, not to quote Dave Chappelle, but sometimes I just sit back and think, what would Young Thug say in a time like this? Anyways, that's besides the point. If y'all, if you don't know, well, if you know, you know. If you don't, then I'm sorry for your loss. But anyways, Mariah the Scientist has collab with a notorious NBA young boy as they just dropped a track titled Rear View. And the way the young boy comes on makes me understand that his fan base is just gonna keep supporting him from the time that he makes music to the time he stops making music, because this man's fan base is the most supportive that I've ever seen for any fan base, not in life, but like it's up there as far as like top three. Like I would say, whenever you're trying to get on house arrest and your fans show up in droves, like you're campaigning for election, it's like, okay, your fan base is a little different. Like they actually show up and show out for you because they love you that much. So I'm like, young boy, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he has a team. I don't know if it's just his intuition. But the way he's cultivated this fan base for his music has been very intriguing to watch the evolution of it. Because if you think that young boy coming out with Stop the Violence campaign and then doing an interview where he's barely talking, he's basically whispering on some ASMR type tip, and he's just really trying to talk about his soft side and getting beat up in school, and that's why he, was a violent kid and stuff. Really trying to turn the tide into a certain image where he can take off as a superstar. I'm thinking somebody must have took over. I don't know what type of PR team he has now, but boy, they trying to push young NBA young boy to the moon and back, because the way that this PR stunt is with Stop the Violence, and obviously anybody can involve to stop wanting to do crime. That's not like, I'm not condemning that, like him wanting to say stop the violence. But when I think it's in a way of, or not even think, I've seen his actions post that. And let's just say they're not reflective of stop the violence. But we're going to keep this positive. So NBA Youngboy and Mariah the Scientist has collabed with a track called Rear View. I believe the music video is out for it. As you know, Youngboy, him and YouTube views is just like a match made in heaven. Like I don't know what it is about his fan base, but it seems like Youngboy is like Eminem over on the YouTube side. Well, granted, Eminem still has more YouTube views than most hip hop. Well, all hip hop artists for this year, and I mean it's not even close. But I wonder why that is. But hey, maybe I'm just reaching. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about NBA Youngboy and Mariah the Scientist joining forces to drop a new track called Rear View? And will you be giving it a listen? Yeah, like how I snuck that Eminem fun fact in there. Because if you think about it, man, out of all the hip hop artists in the world, how come Eminem's number one? Now maybe I'm tripping, but I think y'all know why that is. But I'm just gonna keep my comments to myself. I ain't gonna say a little. Maybe he's just that talented. You know what I mean? Just Anyways, all right. Let's get into Posty, Mr. Malone. Y'all see Post Malone dance on stage? That stuff was hilarious. This man just enjoying life. You love to see it. That man on stage don't care about nothing. Like, he just act like cameras just not around recording his every movement. But anyways, All right, let's get into. Okay, that did not work. Okay, I'm trying to get a good picture. All right, that works. All right, cool. Post Malone has a new track titled Chemical, and boy, is it a chemistry type of experiment because the different sound that he's going for kind of sounds like it's more of like a poppy type vibe. And of course, Post Malone at this point is kind of in his own genre because he started with White Iverson, and boy, he's not went back since. Like he's went straight full pop, rock, whatever you want to call it. This man has made music not in every genre, but all the most of the major ones. So, anyways, I think that this is significant because he dropped this album back in 20. I don't know if he dropped the album last year. Hold on, let me check. I got fact check. You know, we can't be saying fake news over here. All right, give me 1 second. Post Malone. So his last album he dropped in 2022, 12 Carat Toothache. And I don't think that was received as well. So for him to be coming back this soon with his single, I don't know if this is leading up to another album or if this is just a throwaway, but the inclination I'm getting from this is that Post Malone will probably, most likely, put out another body of work this year to try to combat the negative reception of 12 Carat Toothache. Now, I know some people may say, oh, but he sold well. And no, he did not. If you compare Post Malone's releases to his past releases, he definitely did not sell well. And I think I do remember covering that album. And basically, he was going through the weekend type of struggles where he was on his last year of the deal. I don't know if he extended before or after. I think it was after. So before, when he was going through his rollout, his major label didn't really support as much as they usually do. Of course, some people would tell you, "Oh no, they definitely support him. Don't you see him on interviews and stuff?" But at the end of the day, I mean, at this point, Post Malone wants to give you an interview. I mean, even Jimmy Fallon is not turning that down. So I don't know how much the major label was involved with the sales or just the promotion for 12 Carat Toothache. But if he's coming back this fast, I think maybe he inked a new deal, meaning that the first week sales of this next project will be significantly greater than his last album. And hopefully that is the case because I don't think Post Malone is falling off by any stretch of the imagination. But when you compare superstars, you start to compare them to themselves and their past work. And his album sales have looked greater in 2019 than it did in 2020, 2021, and 2022, and of course 2023. So we'll see what this single Chemical leads to, but for the most part, I think that Post Malone is on track to put out another album this year. But hey, that's all speculation. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Post Malone dropping a new single titled Chemical, and will you be giving it a listen? Shout out to people over at Wisdom that's still coming in. Just let you know if you missed some of the portion of this live, just know it'll be uploaded after the fact to all my podcast podcast platforms or whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. Also, click my link tree in my bio. It will send you directly to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And so, yeah. But now we gotta get into some other tracks. See, it was a lot of big names dropping this weekend. Like when not weekend, but dropping tonight. Like when I was listening to it, it was like Ice Spice and Nicki, of course. But like once you get past that, it's like wow, like there was really a lot of good music. Okay, The Weekend, um, Frank Ocean, and then Drake. Is that it? And then we get into Nicki and Ice Spice, I believe. Okay, so this portion is gonna be like more unreleased music type of let me see, the weekend. Okay, yeah, unreleased music type of information. Ooh, let me pause that. Not trying to get no, not trying to get taken down on YouTube. You know, UMG would come out of nowhere with that takedown notice. All right, but anyways, yeah, make sure to hit that follow button to be notified when I go live. And also, of course, I love like streaming on this platform because you know on Wisdom it's easy to join in as a guest. So if you want to join in as a guest, this is a open dialogue, a safe space. You know, it's one of those type of things where if you want to come on, say my opinion is wrong and give your perspective, you know, I definitely will respect it as long as it's respectful. You know what I'm saying? So I love just different perspectives, and we've had that in the past. So that's why I like streaming on Wisdom. But anyways, shout out to the people still coming in. But anyways, yeah, let's start with Mr. Ocean because for some reason this man is coming back with new music, and I'm not the biggest fan of Frank Ocean, but you know his fan base is pretty huge, so we should probably talk about him. That's basically it. That's the whole reason. Um, Let me see. This is not pulling it up. Frank Ocean. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. I was like, where is this? I knew I had it. Okay, how's that look? Zoom in. Okay, that looks good. Okay, bro, where did Rap TV come from? It has to be backed by somebody powerful because I swear Rap TV came up. It was just like it just blew up, and I'm not like hating or anything because it came up like way before me. I'm just saying like DJ Academics, you know, he was doing his thing, and then like Rap TV came. It was like it wasn't the new DJ Academics because his fan base is like, you know, it's like him, like you can put a face to it. But Rap TV is kind of like, where did it come from? Anyways, maybe the people say the same about me when they see me on Spotify. I don't know. So, anyways, let's get let's get into it. I feel like I know most of the Hive names for different artists, but as far as Frank Ocean goes, I don't really know what the name of the Frank Ocean. All right, I'm starting over. No, I didn't say Frank Ocean. What in the world? I done made up a new artist. All right, give me a second. Okay. All right. Let's start this. Let's start this over. For all the Frank Ocean fans out there, what do you call yourselves? Because I know there's the Beehive, there's the Barbs, there's whatever young boy calls themselves. What YB Better? There's the OVO boys. That's not really a name, but you know, it's like one of those things where it's like, what does Frank Ocean fans call themselves? Is it just like what is the nicknames of Frank Ocean? And I say that because he's been away for so long, but now it's appearing that he's putting out new music. Because if I had to look it up, which I don't want to, because I'm not the biggest Frank Ocean fan, but I mean, not for no like personal reasons, just like I just don't care for it. It's not my cup of tea. So, anyways, let me like, okay. So the last time he put out music was in 26. No, okay. I was about to say 2016. That can't be right. So he put out a single called Cayendo Side A Acoustic in 2020. Let me see. August, I don't know, April 3rd, 2020. That's interesting because we're in April. So does he just I don't know. Is it like he changes with the seasons? Like he just knows it's April and he's like, oh, time to put out music. So, anyways, basically, I say all that to say, Frank Ocean has a new song registered on ASCAP. I don't even know if that's how you say it. Give me a second. ASCAP. I feel like that's how like. Um, let me look up what ASCAP is. ASCAP is the professional organization world leader in performance royalties, advocacy, and service for music creators. Okay, so it's basically like a distribution site. Okay, so the reason why this is news is because Frank Ocean put out a track, or submitted a track through ASCAP titled "Myself to Blame." And he put like his full name and stuff like that. I don't know how this got leaked or doxed or whatever you call that, but for the most part, Frank Ocean putting out new music is probably tremendous news for his fans because I'm not, I don't really listen to Frank Ocean, but whoever does, they're probably really anticipating this as he did put out Channel Orange and Blonde, which his fans seem to like. I don't know, but like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable about Frank Ocean, which is why I had to look this up, but his fans have definitely been clamoring for another project from Frank Ocean, and now it's seeming like he's putting out a single, which hopefully will be a rollout for an album. But he will most likely put out a single titled "Myself to Blame." Now, either he's gonna put this out, or he's just playing with his fans. And he's gonna unsubmit it as soon as his news come out. And I don't know if he will, but hey, you never know with Frank Ocean. At this point, this man takes so much time with music. He make Kendrick look consistent. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Frank Ocean registering a new song called "Myself to Blame"? And do you or are you anticipating for this new Frank Ocean music? Is Frank Ocean the one that's saying like the tornado flew around my room? I don't know. That's how out of touch I am. I don't know what he made. But anyways, all right, let's get into the goat, man. Let's stop playing. Let's stop playing. I don't think I can put this up because YouTube may take it down. I mean, it's literally just Drake and like him in front of a studio, and there's no music. I don't know. It's just a static image. I don't think they'll take this down. Let me just put this up. All right, cool. So for people over at YouTube and Kick, y'all should be able to see this. Okay. All right. Shout out to the people coming in. We have 11 people now live. That's nice that y'all tuned in the morning because it is late in the morning. So or early in the morning technically. Yeah. So I definitely keep that in mind whenever y'all are tuning in. I appreciate it. And of course, if you're not able to catch the whole thing, just know it'll be uploaded after the fact to my podcast platforms. And my link tree in my bio will give you direct access to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And so you'll have that link to help you get there. All right. Anyways, let's get into the GOAT because I'm tired of talking about these irrelevant artists. Now I'm just playing. Let me chill. Drake, aka the GOAT, aka the greatest thing that happened to hip hop since the microphone, has a track going through the internet right now titled "She Knows." Now, of course, I had to hit y'all with the plug link. You know what I'm saying? So if you go in my description, you'll see the full song link. Just copy it, put it into your web browser, and then just know that you're welcome. So, anyways, the GOAT, aka Aubrey Graham, aka Degrassi's very, very own, has put out, well, not even put out. There's this track that I don't even know if it leaked. I don't know where this came from. I ain't gonna lie to you. The ways that y'all send me music and I find music is very intriguing as it pops up. Somebody's like, oh, check out this Reddit forum, or they'll be like, oh, check out this video on YouTube, and then it will actually be music from the artist, like no AI. Because at this point, I think it's pretty easy to tell what's AI and what's not. Because at first I was kind of scared because the Kanye ones was like on point, but then I realized I heard like a Playboy Cardi and a Little Uzi one, and I was like, Yeah, they really can't get the auto tune down. Like the AI is not that advanced as like I thought it was. I previously thought it was. But that's besides the point. Drake in this new track titled She Knows, it's very interesting because it's more of like a, I'm not gonna say a lullaby, but it's definitely a love song. And so shout out to Neo. But at the end of the day, this man just performs and executes at a level that no other artist can. And I know what y'all saying, and I don't care, man. You know, you got to give the goat his flowers when he puts up these type of numbers, because not only is he putting out a track sampling Kim Kardashian to increase his beef with Mr. West, but he's also on the side leaking these tracks to Redditors, I guess, to get out to blogs to post, which I'm currently doing. So this track was it resurfaced like 6 months ago, I believe, and if you go in my description and copy and paste the link, you'll be able to listen to the full song. It's almost 5 minutes, so it's definitely a quality listen as far as like, I don't know, it's a lengthy listen. That's the word I was looking for. It's a lengthy listen, and man, it's just filled with heat, man. I mean, I don't know what more to tell you, man. At the end of the day, I mean, it's the boy. So, anyways, click my link to my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Drake and his ability to put out music seemingly be no, yeah. What do you feel like? Hold up, I totally messed up that question. Okay, let's act like that didn't happen. Cause I'm definitely not editing that out, and let's start over. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Drake releasing music disguised as a random leaker? Because at this point, I think we all know that Drake is leaking his own music because this man runs a tight knit organization where all his music is on a hard drive. So I believe at this point, if he's leaking music, he knows what he's doing. So let me know. Have you listened to the track She Knows? Did you even know it was did you even know it existed? And if not, of course, click that link in my description and make sure to hit that, that 5 stars or whatever platform you're listening on for me being the plug. But you know what, that's that's basically it. I think that's the first time I ended a segment saying that's basically it. Yo, what in the world? What? That's basically it. What type of outro is that? I should have just said academics and just said I'm out. That's usually what I do. That's the whole reason I do that. But anyways, all right, we're gonna play the snippet. Actually, we're not gonna play a snippet because I don't want to get no DMs here. All right, and then let's go over here. Um, what account are we on? Is this my account? Let me check to see if this is my account. Log out, switch accounts. Okay, now we're logged into another. Okay, cool. Making sure it's not my personal account. Y'all about to see something crazy. Not just play. I'm just joking. Ain't nobody messaged me on IG. Why y'all be saying that? Come on now. Anyways, all right, let's get into it. Abel Tesfaye is back again, teasing new music. Like we're not gonna ask him to release that new music every single day he posts on social media now. Like I don't understand what goes through these popular artists' head when they tease music, but just know if you tease music, we will berate you every single time you post on social media, asking you when are you gonna release it. Because at this point, I think we all know that The Weeknd and Mike Dean is kind of like a match made in heaven because they've been cooking up in the studio for a while now. I think for the past 1 or 2 projects, they've been heavily collaborating on like his music. And Mike Dean had this interview where he was kind of talking about The Weeknd and how they met, and it was just so natural the way they was collaborating with each other. But call me a narcissist, or not even narcissist. Is that the word? A pessimist. Yeah, I think that's a word. I don't even think that's a word. Anyways, I may be using a little bit of pessimism. Pessimist? No, that's definitely not it. I don't know why I can't think of words today. But anyways, I think the weekend having multi, platinum tracks, having diamond tracks, probably adds to it a little bit with the genuine and the natural connection that Mike Dean is talking about. Because let me tell you, if it was some random off the street artist making music and Mike Dean felt like they had a connection, he would have looked at them streams and the monthly listeners and he would have been like, you know what? Maybe next time. But since it's the weekend, it's just very natural and organic. They was just the best of buddies after he heard that the weekend just became Spotify's most listened to artist. But anyways, so they've been cooking up, and he just released a snippet, and I'll try to put that link. Hopefully, I don't forget. I probably will. But there's a link on Academics. Well, not link, but there's a post on Academics page, DJ Academics. If you look it up, just DJ Academics, the weekend Future snippet, and there's a new snippet going around where you could probably find it anywhere. But there's a new snippet going around where he's playing a little, a little track, a little tune, and then you can hear Future coming over the beat. So well, pause. Well, is that pause? That's a wild reach. Hey, yo, that's on me. My fault. Anyways, I'm not editing that out either. So yeah, the weekend and Future have something cooking up, and I feel like in general, when you think about the weekend and Future, they kind of don't miss. Like if they was to make a collab album or a collab project, I think everybody would enjoy it to the point where they may say it's better than Drake and Future. Think about it. If Drake and Future put out What a Time to Be Alive and the weekend and Future put out like a track called Plans. You know what I'm saying? No, just play. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that was funny. My fault. I can't laugh at my old jokes. That ain't how it works. But anyways, so the weekend in Future, if they put out an album called Plans and it was just straight classic, it would kind of put that LeBron esque feel on Drake or no on the weekend. Like, oh, you won with this player. I won with this player more than you ever did. Because if you look at the statistics right now, and I know I'm pitting two Canadians against each other, but you got to hear me out. The Weeknd and Drake's been in competition ever since the Weeknd broke off when it was OVO XO. Y'all remember that time? There's a reason why the Weeknd broke off and Drake started a beef because of it. But anyway, so if the Weeknd and Future made a collab album and then it ended up performing better and more, it was more well received than What a Time to Be Alive, then I think the conversation would probably shift into the Weeknd being just an overall better artist than Drake. Because right now, I think it's I think it's a close race, and this is coming from like a Drake stan. I ain't gonna lie to you, but the Weeknd is different on a level that he's easily transitioned into the pop lane, and he stayed in it to the point where, like I just said, well, like I previously stated, he became Spotify's most listened to artist, and like he broke the record for the most monthly listeners. So he's definitely running up the numbers, which is very interesting. Why this snippet is coming about now? Because I think that if he was to put out an album this year, then that would just shut the whole summer down. Like if the Weeknd puts out an album anytime soon, like he would shut down the whole summer. But I don't really know if he has an album ready. I mean, I know he didn't put out an album last year, I believe. No, actually he did put out an album last year. Let me see. Because it was like at the beginning of last year. Was it Dawn FM? He did a thing where he like put out an album at the beginning of the year. I don't know why artists put out albums at the beginning of the year. It's kind of weird. Let me see. Yeah, 2022. I mean, of course, he has the live album, but that doesn't count this year. That don't count. He put it out in January of 2022. That's what I figured he put out. I don't know why artists do that because it makes it feel like it came out in 2021. Like even with Metro Boomin's album, that's technically an album for 2023, but it came out December of 2022. So it's really weird. But at the end of the day, the reason I'm bringing this up is because every time the Weeknd teases music is newsworthy because he's just that humongous of an artist when it comes to impact. So, anyways, Click my link tree in my bio. Let me know what are my social medias. What do you think about the weekend and future once again working together? And do you think that they should make some type of collab project? All right. Let me see. What's next? What's next? Doja Cat, Ice. Oh, we got the last. Okay, we had the last one. That's cool. Shout out to the people still coming in. I think we have like 14 people right now, and counting. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Just know that the beginning, if you you did miss it, but the beginning and the middle will be up. Well, the whole thing will be uploaded after the fact to my podcast. So just click my link tree in my bio to be linked to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, as it's the easiest way to be connected to what I'm doing on a grand on a I guess a global scale at this point. I haven't said it throughout this whole stream, so I should probably say it now. But anyways, my podcast, is my biggest platform by far. I do this live streaming just to give like an extra avenue if somebody wanted to join in as a guest or comment or to be a part of it. But for the most part, my podcast is humongous. I would not humongous. All right, let me be humble. But but basically, it's 31,000. You know what I mean? Downloads per episode, and obviously, there's people way bigger than that. But as an independent person generating revenue, it's kind of like we doing doing a little something over at the podcast platform. So yeah, click my link tree in my bio if you want to be linked to that. But also click the follow button if you want to be notified when I go live. So anyways, just shameless plug. I had to say that right quick. I think sometimes people get a little twisted. I just like doing it live. It kind of shows the I feel like it's a different type of pressure when you're live. Like you can't just like imagine if I just said something that would get me canceled like at this exact moment. But I won't. So anyways, let's keep going. All right, let's get into the queen of hip hop and the princess at this point. Let me see if I can find this. Okay. Ice Spice. Isn't it so funny that Drake followed Ice Spice back? You know why he did that? He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be seeing a lot of, I'm be seeing her more around. I need to start, more around. I'm gonna start seeing her around more. I need to get in good graces. You know what I mean? I can't be giving her the cold shoulder like I do every woman artist. But anyways, let's keep going. Okay, I definitely had some articles, so I'm gonna go to my email because I was looking at some stuff. Yeah, okay, that's what I was looking for. Because Ice Spice is under Nicki's label, which is kind of crazy. Like, I don't think this helps out the fact that everybody says Nicki doesn't like collabing with women artists. Like, that whole narrative is not helped by this. Like, only time you collab with another up and like specifically up and coming women artists. Like, when was the last time she did collab? Was it Glorilla? I think that was Cardi B. When was the last time? Bia? Trying to think. Ain't gonna lie, it's been a while. But anyways, this doesn't help her because I mean she did a collab with her and basically signed her, made her sign her soul away. That's basically what I was trying to say. I couldn't get that out, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was y'all probably like, man, this man a podcaster? Nah, I can't get no words out today. All right, let me look at this interview. There was another article I wanted to bring up, but maybe I lost it. Yeah, maybe that was it. Steve Jobs, nope. The Marvels, nope. Ed Sheeran, nope. Be okay. Yeah, nah, I think that's basically what I was looking for. Oh, this is what it was. That Princess Diana is like Let me go to Nicki's page. She always has like her updates about stats. One thing about Nicki is she gonna tell you the numbers. You know, that's one thing I like about her. I like somebody who brags about the numbers. You know me. I try to be humble. You know, of course. You know, that's why I remind y'all every 2 seconds that 31,000 plays per episode on my podcast. But anyways, that's besides the point. Um, Let me look at this. 35 number ones on iTunes. Interesting. Extensor is the most number ones. Isn't getting a number one on iTunes kind of like easy? Not like easy, but like, isn't it just based off of recent downloads or no? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. All right. The reason I'm taking so long is because this is my last topic. Because I definitely want to get into. There's a lot of future implications with this deal, so it's not just the track. The track is fire though, but we're gonna say that for the review. All right. I think I'm ready. Oh no, I'm not. Hold up, this ad popped up. Let me just go to my handy dandy 12-foot. You know what I mean? Just be like, we are not signing up. Oh, just gonna go over here, put this in, and then there we go. Oh, it doesn't show the picture. Dang, I kind of want the picture. Okay, I'm just gonna use that for me then, and I'm gonna put the picture up there. You know why we got to put the picture up there. Come on now, let's not act ignorant. What they say, let's not act ignorant. I know why we got to put the picture up there. All right, anyways, there we go. That picture doesn't really do Ice Spice justice. It's like a Rolling Loud or Rolling Stone picture. It's like Nicki's looking great, and then Ice Spice is like making some weird facial expression. But anyways, cool. All right, let's get into it. Now, I knew there was some reason why the GO, aka Aubrey Graham, followed Ice Spice back. Do I think that he just followed her out of the goodness of his heart? Of course not. So, seeing the news that Ice Spice is now signed to a partnership under Nicki Minaj's new label, and I mean like brand, to use the term, brand spanking new label titled Heavy on it. This deal is pretty important. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never seen Nicki Minaj do something like this. Usually, when she hops on a hot single like she did for Bia for the track, I forget what it was called. What was the track with Bia and Nicki Minaj? Hold up. See, now I gotta look this up because we can't spread fake news on here. So let me see. Nicki, because I'm bringing up Bia again because I think she may have caught some subs, but maybe I'm tripping. So Whole Lot of Money featuring Nicki. Okay, yeah. So she remixed Whole Lot of Money and put Nicki Minaj on it. So Nicki Minaj helped her out with that, right? And what I'm thinking is maybe she's getting to the point where she's realizing all of these women hip hop artists worship me. Literally. I mean, besides Cardi B, of course, she just likes to throw shoes at Nicki Minaj, but that's besides the point. I'm talking about most up and coming women rappers in the game look up and idolize Nicki Minaj. Because technically, if they want to beef with Nicki, she could literally cut their water off. And now by that, I mean, you ever heard the term of blackball? I think once you have, it's kind of like in the politician game as well. Whenever you put a certain amount of time in a certain situation, and you get certain connections with powerful people in the industry to the point where they will highly consider your recommendations. If you beef with them and then you try to do something with somebody that they know that they can influence and they say something to make them not give you a deal, then that's inherently blackballing, I would say. So, for the most part, it's kind of been rumored in the hip hop industry that Nicki Minaj, if she doesn't like you, things could get spooky. Like certain brand deals may be harder to get, certain looks may be harder to get. You may put it like this, right? You know, Rolling Loud is a festival where there's headliners and then there's people who come out in the very, very small print. Let's say you're beefing with Nicki Minaj and you're on that small print. I don't even, Nicki Minaj doesn't even care if she's showing up day one and you're showing up day two. You're not going to be on that list if she's performing. That's the type of games that Nicki Minaj plays. But I don't say that as a bad thing. I think that Nicki is the greatest and most talented rapper we've ever had as far as in the women ecosphere. Ecos no, that's not it. Anyway, that's like top 10. That's like a not top 10 ESPN type moment. But anyways, we're gonna keep going like I ain't just completely butchered that word. So Nicki Minaj being one of the greatest rappers of all time, co-signing an up and coming artist, aka Ice Spice, leads me to believe that she is going to start her own Young Money. I know what y'all probably saying that's probably the craziest thing I've ever said, but I think that Nicki Minaj is talented enough to spot talent when she sees it. So I feel like her signing Ice Spice isn't just I'm giving her a bone. I think she sees that people are really clamoring over Ice Spice. Like when Ice Spice came out with, I think it was called Like, and then she came out with another hit, and then she came out with another hit, and it's kind of like, oh, she's like not going away. Like at first everybody was like, oh, she's definitely a one hit wonder, and she kept coming with hits. And my hits, I mean, like not like top five, but you know, in the top 100 to 200, where she was keeping her name in the media. And of course it was a lot of different PR games that her team was playing with, them comparing her or pairing her with a bunch of random men like Jordan Poole, who else? They tried to say Lil TJ, but rumor is that she already has like a man and he's just like undercover on some, like, you know how like Nicki Minaj's man is like not famous but everybody knows she has one. It's kind of like that with Ice Spice. But anyways, that's not like public knowledge. So for all these like different public iconic figures that they're pairing her with, every single time that like pops up on the news outlet, it gets so much traction to the point where I feel like maybe Ice Spice's team is kind of promoting this. Like, hey, say she's with so and so, say Jordan Poole like bought her 300,000 worth of stuff on a date, like, you know, stuff like that. The only thing we've ever seen is little TJ buying her an actual chain. That's well, I don't know if it's, I think it was like a Rolex, but little TJ actually bought her something that we've seen her like put on video. So, anyways, I say all that to say this. I think that Nicki Minaj is making a great move with signing Ice Spice, and this is just the beginning of something special. Obviously, I've said a plethora of times, if you've listened to my podcast, that the greatest artist to date has always had a notorious cosign, and pun intended, because Jay-Z with Notorious, Big, Eminem with Dr. Dre, Drake with Lil Wayne, even Lil Wayne with Birdman, and even with Notorious B.I.G. with Diddy. Granted, that was more of a partnership than like a I put you on type cosign, but you get what I'm saying. The biggest cosigns leads to a higher ceiling in your respective spaces. And I feel like that's just in general with life. And that's why I think that's literally where the phrase originated from, where it says, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And at this point, being co-signed by Nicki Minaj as the princess, when everybody, and I mean everybody, knows that Nicki Minaj is the queen of rap. Like it's just anonymously, like it's just um unanimous. I can't say words today. It's unanimously it's unanimous that Nicki Minaj is the queen of rap, and for Ice Spice to be the princess of rap, being co-signed by Nicki Minaj, which is aka the queen of rap, you can kind of see where the sky is the limit for this deal. So it's been paired with a new track titled, hold on if I can find this. Well, no, it's not a new track. It's a remix of Princess Diana. Nicki Minaj is like on the second end of the track, and that gets me to my second point. So Nicki Minaj rapping on this is very surprising, as if she's going to sign these artists, making it well known right away is kind of interesting. As I know a lot of times, sometimes, well, a lot of times, artists will sign with somebody, but they don't want to feel like they're being sunned by an artist. So it will be like a under the table type of deal, but they won't publicly come out and be like, "Oh, I signed this artist." It would just be like "Oh, he's bubbling up independently, wink, wink," type stuff. But for the most part, I think that Nicki putting her name on this is not like a bad thing at all, like in the slightest. But her like being her first big name feature, kind of, it's interesting. I mean, of course, Ice Spice had Lil TJ, but like respectively, it's not really the biggest name you could get. So it's like Ice Spice I feel like could have collabed with anybody. So Nicki Minaj to be the first one to collab with Ice Spice is interesting. But it's not a bad thing, of course. But Princess Diana, the remix, getting into the actual music, I would say that the way that Nicki Minaj raps is literally leaps and bounds above everybody. So to the point where I had to rethink my top 5 rappers of all time, and I had to put Nicki in it. I'm like, at this point, could you really talk about hip hop and not include Nicki Minaj? Like, if you had a hip hop documentary that only covered like the top 5 popular rappers, you would have to say Nicki Minaj, and it's kind of obvious at this point. So yeah, she's kind of taking shots on this track, but I've already talked about enough beef with different artists and Nicki Minaj, so I don't want to make this sound like a bashing session. All I gotta say is there's nobody who will combat Nicki Minaj on a lyrical tip. She's kind of like the Kendrick Lamar version in the women in the women's space, because even Cardi B will rather throw shoes and fight Nicki Minaj than combat her with bars and music, because you already know how that will end up. So anyways, Nicki Minaj was definitely throwing shots at Nicki Minaj throwing shots at herself. Nicki Minaj was throwing shots at Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, where she was talking about, we don't do movies, we don't do BAP. That's like a whole play off of people thought that Cardi and Megan was in some movie called BAP, but it was just like it was like a false rumor. But for Nicki Minaj to throw that in there, she knows what she's doing. And then also, she said an interesting thing about London bridges, and then later she ended off her verse by rapping in a London accent and basically saying that, he only likes you because something, she said something explicit, but this is a PG podcast, so I'm just gonna skip past that. But all I gotta say, the London references is very interesting because it felt like it came out of nowhere, and I don't know if she's like targeting Bia or if I'm reaching, but I don't know who else those London shots would be at, like London on the track. Maybe, I don't know, but I can only think of Bia as somebody who she would be taking shots at, but maybe I'm tripping. I think that Bia kind of mimicking Ice Spice, maybe in turn, well, no pun intended, made Nicki Minaj turn on her, and maybe that's why she's sending these London shots at her. But I think it's a stretch. But I think I may be onto something with this Nicki Minaj sending shots at Bia, because a lot of people said Bia sounds like Ice Spice, when that literally makes no sense. Bia came out way before Ice Spice, and Bia raps the way she's been rapping for it, like, ever. So I don't know. I don't know if it's because of Ice Spice and Bia, Nicki Minaj inherited that beef, and at this point, that Ice Spice is never gonna get a collab from or get a feature from Cardi B. Or even if she does, like Cardi B would probably send her a feature, but would she be able to put it out is the interesting question. That's probably the $1 million question. I ain't gonna lie. I know Nicki Minaj doesn't do interviews, but if any of the Barbs is listening to this, y'all need to tweet Nicki Minaj and ask her if Ice Spice wanted to do a collab with Cardi B, would you let her? And the answer will most likely be a definitive no. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about this whole evolution in artists signing others to give them that notorious cosign I've been talking about? And what do you think is the longevity of Ice Spice's? Like, how long do you think Ice Spice's career will be? Alrighty. And that was the last story. Okay, was there anything I missed? The Diana remix. Okay, okay. Nicki. I'm pretty sure I covered everything I wanted to cover. Shout out to the 15 people we have over at Wisdom right now. Appreciate y'all coming in, tuning into the latest hip hop tracks that just released. Make sure to hit my follow button to be notified when I go live. Also, I upload this to my podcast after the fact in full. So if you click my link tree in my bio, it will link you to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And obviously, well, y'all probably can't even hear it. But I use a different mic for my podcast, so the audio is significantly better. But because it's my phone and I can only stream from my phone, because on the Wisdom app, I don't think they have a desktop version yet. But yeah. So it sounds different on my podcast. Just know that, and I feel like it's more professional. Not to say this isn't professional, just saying, trying my best, feel got a whole different mic just to stream on Wisdom. You gotta love the dedication. I mean, I gotta hit the follow button for that, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah, that's basically it. That's all I had to get into. All right. Until next time, let me get through my shameless plug. I just dropped my episode 120 Super Mario Bros review. That's like the whole title. Via my link tree, it'll link you to any of the platforms that you listen to podcasts on, so it's easy access. Also, my social media is on that link tree. Basically, everything you need to know is on that link tree. And for my people over at YouTube and Kick, make sure to hit that follow button while also subscribing, hitting that bell icon to be notified when I go live. And with that, I'm out.